Hey everyone, and welcome back.
Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of Kenton David Bell.
Okay.
Now, some of you might know him as this spiritual healer, law of attraction coach,
Right.
but his story
Yeah,
is
wild, let me tell you.
really something else.
We're talking Bering Sea, crab fishing, Thai beaches.
Even a Kundalini Awakening.
Wow.
So yeah, buckle up because this is one wild ride.
It's incredible how he kind of weaves all these experiences together,
Show how those tough times.
to really be these like catalysts for growth and change.
Yeah.
He talks about, for example,
His time crab fishing in the Bering Sea.
oh wow,
Incredibly dangerous, by the way.
I bet.
And how it taught him about resilience.
Right, and trusting your gut in those high stakes situations.
That's wild. It's like he's a living example.
That our experiences, especially the tough ones,
Yeah. Yeah.
they shape us in ways we don't even realize.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like he's using all that to help others tap into their own inner strength.
Totally. He doesn't just talk the talk, he's lived it.
And that really shines through in his work, especially with the law of attraction.
Blends these like big spiritual concepts with actual tools and exercises.
Okay, hold on.
I gotta jump in here.
Sure.
I've heard about the law of attraction.
That always seemed a little too good to be true,
Right.
Like, just think positive and get rich.
Is that really all it is?
It's definitely more nuanced than that.
Kenton talks about like aligning your thoughts, emotions, beliefs.
With what you want to attract.
Okay.
But
And this is important.
he talks about this idea of allowance.
Surrendering control and trusting there's something bigger at play.
Allowance.
Okay, that's a new one for me.
What does that even mean, practically speaking?
How do you allow something to happen?
It's about, well, think of it like this.
You're letting go of that need to control every little detail.
And trusting that the universe has your back, in a way. It's bringing you what you want.
At the perfect time.
So it's like, what?
Like planting a seed and just trusting it'll grow.
Exactly. You can't keep digging it up to check, right?
You gotta trust the process, nurture it, give it time and space.
So you're like a farmer tending to their fields.
They put in the work, plant the seeds.
Right.
But then they gotta trust nature's timing.
That power of the elements to help those seeds grow.
And that's where the magic happens,
In that surrender.
He thinks that when we try to force things,
We actually block that flow of abundance. Create resistance.
Okay, that's making more sense now.
It's not just like wishful thinking
Yeah.
or positive affirmations.
It's about aligning your energy with what you want
Yeah,
and then trusting the process.
exactly.
This allowance thing is really interesting.
And it's key to his teachings.
Combining allowance with intention.
He even talks about these experiences from his own life, these miracle moments.
That he ties directly to this principle.
Miracle moments.
You got to tell me more about these miracle moments.
Did he, like, win the lottery using the law of attraction?
Not quite winning the lottery.
But he describes these, like,
Incredible coincidences.
situations that seemed impossible but worked out for him.
And he credits those moments to this.
Stepping back, letting go, allowing things to unfold naturally.
Wow, that's wild. So how do you even begin to,
Cultivate that level of trust,
that surrender?
especially if you're used to being in control.
Well, that's where his own journey gets even more interesting.
He wasn't always this, like, Zen master of manifestation,
He had his own struggles, challenges, trauma,
but he had to work through.
and he believes those experiences were super important to his spiritual awakening.
Hold on, wait.
He had a spiritual awakening.
Was it like a sudden thing?
Or more of a gradual shift
He describes it as a process.
that started with his Kundalini Awakening.
Oh, this is powerful stuff.
This is a spiritual energy.
That's kind of dormant at the base of your spine.
And when it's awakened, it's said to trigger profound transformation.
And expanded
A
consciousness.
Kundalini Awakening.
That sounds,
Pretty intense.
that's powerful stuff.
Did he say what caused it or anything?
He connects it back to his experiences with trauma, actually.
He believes that trauma,
Okay.
as difficult as it is,
So it can actually be like a catalyst for spiritual awakening.
so the trauma kind of
Like it cracks you open,
makes you face those deeper parts of yourself.
pushes you towards healing and growth.
It's interesting, this whole idea of
Trauma being a catalyst.
yeah.
How does that connect to the law of attraction then?
That's where it gets really interesting. He believes that by,
Healing our past traumas
Wow.
and facing those limiting beliefs
we actually raise our vibration.
and become more magnetic to the things we want.
Okay, I've heard that before, this whole...
Raise your vibration thing. What does that even mean? Like in everyday life,
Think of it like this.
Your energy is kind of like a radio signal
Okay.
when you're stuck in negativity.
Fear, limiting beliefs.
It's like you're attuned to a station with just static.
Makes sense.
But as you heal and grow,
And step into your true self.
it's like you're clearing that interference.
And tuning into a higher frequency.
And that's when you start to attract those better experiences.
So you're like a magnet for abundance.
Exactly.
But it starts with that inner work.
Yeah.
It's not just pretending to be happy.
It's about really addressing the root of those negative patterns.
Absolutely.
Ken's all about taking action.
Okay.
He gives you tools, specific techniques,
To help people identify and shift those limiting beliefs.
and cultivate a more
Positive and abundant mindset.
like what kind of things?
For example.
He talks a lot about gratitude,
Okay.
how focusing on the good, even the little things.
Can totally shift your energy.
Gratitude is huge.
I've noticed in my own life when I'm feeling grateful,
Like more good things, just kind of,
it's like you're telling the universe.
hey, I'm ready for more of this.
Exactly.
And it doesn't stop at gratitude.
He brings in things like visualization, meditation.
Energy healing even,
Oh.
to help people reprogram their subconscious.
And align with what they want.
It's like a whole toolkit for transformation.
He's worked with CEOs, Hollywood producers.
And he uses these techniques with everyone.
That's incredible.
And what's really remarkable
Is his emphasis on intuition?
connecting with that inner guidance system we all have.
Yeah, we all have that.
He says we've been conditioned to doubt ourselves.
To look for answers outside of ourselves.
That's so true. There's so much noise out there.
Exactly.
It's hard to hear your own inner voice sometimes.
And that's where things like meditation come in.
He teaches people to quiet the mind
Connect with the breath.
and create space for that inner wisdom to come through.
Okay, so it's about learning to trust your gut,
Yes,
even if it goes against what everyone else is saying.
it takes courage,
It does.
but it's incredibly empowering.
to tap into that inner knowing,
I bet.
to realize you have the answers within you.
So we've talked about like allowance.
Trauma being a catalyst,
Right.
and this whole idea of raising your vibration.
Is there anything else that makes his approach unique?
He's a big advocate for what he calls inspired action.
Inspired action.
It's not just about waiting for things to happen.
It's about taking action,
Okay.
but from a place of alignment.
And inspiration.
Tell me more.
He believes that when we're aligned with our purpose
Wow.
and clear about what we want,
The universe will start showing us opportunities.
ideas, synchronicities,
It's about being open to those signs,
and taking action when they show up,
even if it's outside your comfort zone.
even then,
It's like that saying.
leap in the net will appear.
Exactly.
But it's not about being reckless.
No?
It's about trusting that when you follow your heart,
And take aligned action?
you'll be supported.
He uses this analogy of surfing.
You can't control the waves,
Right.
but when you paddle out with intention,
In your present.
you're ready to catch that wave when it comes.
And when you're in flow with the universe,
Yeah. It's like riding those waves of opportunity.
all the way to your dreams.
I love that visual.
So it's not just about wishing and hoping.
No.
It's about taking action.
Yes.
But action from a place of alignment, clarity, trust.
Exactly.
It's about co-creating with the universe.
I love that. Does Ken never talk about the skeptics?
The people who think the law of attraction is,
Bunch of nonsense.
he does. And he's very compassionate about it.
He reminds people that the law of attraction isn't like,
This mystical thing only certain people can access.
it's a universal principle.
That's always working. Whether we realize it or not, our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality.
That's a concept backed by ancient wisdom and modern science.
It's true.
Like even the placebo effect shows that.
That's a good point. We're always influencing our reality.
Exactly.
And Kenton wants to empower people to use that power consciously.
To create the lives they want.
This is all so fascinating.
It seems like he's onto something really profound.
This blend of ancient wisdom, practical tools.
And this emphasis on self-awareness and transformation.
I'd love to hear more about the specific techniques he uses.
And how people can start applying these principles.
Well, before we get into the practical side of things.
There's one more aspect of Kenton's work I think is worth exploring.
Okay, what's that?
His perspective on the role of purpose.
Oh, okay.
Purpose. Now we're talking.
Yeah. All right, so purpose, huh? I feel like that's something a lot of people struggle with.
It's a big one for sure.
Like, what if you don't even know it's your purpose
Well, Kenton's big on this idea.
that you don't need to have it all figured out right away?
He says, explore your passions.
Your interests, what lights you up.
He believes that our purpose...
Often it kind of reveals itself through those things,
So it's not always this big big, grand plan.
Not necessarily, no.
It can be about what you're naturally drawn to.
Even if it doesn't make sense to other people.
Exactly, even if it doesn't fit those expectations.
That's really interesting.
That's like that saying.
The only way to do great work is to love what you do.
Right, but finding that thing you love.
That could be the hard part.
He talks about listening to your intuition.
Okay.
That inner voice that guides you toward what feels,
expansive, exciting.
Try new things, he says.
So get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Pay attention to those moments when you feel joy.
Flow, that deep satisfaction.
So it's about following those little breadcrumbs of joy.
I like that.
Like they'll lead you somewhere.
They will.
And it doesn't have to be this big planned out thing.
It's more about those little nudges,
With synchronicities.
Like the universe is trying to tell you something.
Exactly. He believes the universe is always communicating.
Guiding us toward our potential.
Wow. That's really cool.
You just got to learn to listen.
Okay, so say you have a sense of your purpose.
How do you actually ease that with the law of attraction?
It's not so much about changing how you use it.
As it is about, amplifying it.
Okay.
When your desires are aligned with your purpose.
When you know WHY you want something.
And how it connects to something bigger.
Your intentions become so much stronger.
Like you're tapping into this power source or something.
Exactly. It's about aligning your own desires.
With that purpose.
With making a positive impact.
I love that.
And that's where the magic happens.
This has been incredible.
We've gone from Bering Sea crab fishing to Kundalini Awakenings.
Oh, it's been a journey.
Law of attraction, allowance, purpose.
What's one thing you hope listeners take away from all this?
Kenton really emphasizes that we are all
capable of incredible things.
We have to be bold in our visions.
Trust those unseen forces that support us.
And never underestimate that power within us.
That's powerful stuff.
And I think that's a perfect note to end on.
We are powerful.
The universe has our backs.
And anything is possible if we set our minds to it.
Absolutely.
If you want to learn more about Kenton and his work,
check out the show notes for links and resources.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
And until next time, stay curious.